and welcome all of you to my YouTube channel Animals and Pets with Partha. Today I talk of the history of the Kennel Club of India. Well, as you know, the Britishers ruled India for several hundred years. First they set foot in Calcutta and they started the East India Company, and later on they of course took over the entire country and they ruled it for several hundred years. They had started the Kennel Club in 1896 and the Kennel Club of London, and our Kennel Club was affiliated to the Kennel Club of London. And until 1947, it was the Britishers who ruled the Kennel Club, and it was mostly the British people who were part of the organization. And of course, the Rajas and the Maharajas and the Nawabs were allowed to be members. Some elite dignitaries, and of course some elite Indians who were part of British culture were also allowed to be part of the Indian dog world. My mentor, Mr. R.P. Mitter, was a judge in the British era, and I'm fortunate to have his patronage in my early stages of my career in dogs. In 1947, when the Kennel Club of India was taken over by Indian administration took over, at the time we still had some Britishers who made India their home, and Major Goldsmith stayed back and he ran the club for some time. And I can recall from my memory, in 1951 he had judged in Hong Kong. And actually, when I went to Hong Kong to judge in 1991, I looked back, and in the history there was only one Indian judge who judged there, and it was Major Goldsmith. And after his demise, Mrs. Goldsmith took over the Kennel Club and ran it till her last days. Well, in the early 50s, in 1952, Mrs. Rati P. Zaveri started in the dog world. She was only 13 at that time, and she started off with an Irish setter called Razzle. But later on, when the Irish setter died, her father got her a class winner from England in Well. In 1952, her kennel Dardasco was established under the Kennel Club of India and registered. And later on, with her growing interest in dogs, she started showing dogs in the Bombay Presidency Kennel Club. Well, let me just make a mention that other than Calcutta, Bombay was also a place where the Britishers started their Kennel Club. And of course, there was this Mysore and Uttarakhand were places where the British started kennel clubs. Later on, of course, after independence, the kennel clubs, the dog game grew and it was spread to other parts of the country. Well, the kennel club at the time was the only kennel club in 1947, but in 1957, the kennel club split, and Mrs. Rati P. Zaveri started the Indian National Kennel Club. She had some differences with the chairman, Miss Ernie Kama, who was also from Mumbai, and she it was because of her that the Bombay Presidency Kennel Club, where Mrs. Zaveri used to show, she had some differences and she wanted to start her own kennel club. Mrs. Zaveri's father, who was a corporator in the corporation in Mumbai, and was also in the managing committee of the Parsi Panchayat. He was an important personality in Bombay. He started many organizations and trusts at that time. Then he helped Mrs. Rati Zaveri to start the Kennel Club, and after that it was never looking back. The Indian National Kennel Club has served the dog world of India successfully and with honor for the last 65 years. There is no scam, no any misappropriation of funds and other things that you come to know of in the dog world, that the Indian National Kennel Club has been functioning smoothly for the 65 years that it is in existence. The history of the Indian National is glorious, and they can boast of a very rich heritage. Well, all this, Mrs. Rati P. Zaveri is the creator of this Indian National Kennel Club, and she runs it till today with great proficiency. Well, if I have to talk of Indian National Club, it cannot be done in one episode. I have to go over it over several episodes. But here I just want to outline some of the the features of the Indian National Kennel Club, and a little bit of history as to how it came into being. And as of present, Mrs. Rati Zaveri has been helped by her husband, Feroz Zaveri, and now, of course, the daughter, Dr. Freya Zaveri, who studied her veterinary degree from Melbourne, and she has done it on radiology, and she is really a qualified person to do hip scoring. The Indian National Kennel Club started with the help of late Jahangir D. Daruwala, who was Mrs. Rati Zaveri's father. Mr. Daruwala was a prominent citizen of Bombay, being a municipal corporator and trustee of the Bombay Parsi Panchayat, and the originator of several other charitable trusts. Well, on the 21st of March 1957, on the auspicious day of Nowruz, the Parsi Irani New Year, in appreciation of Jahangir's contribution to society, the road next to the Indian National Kennel Club office in the elite area of South Mumbai has been named after him. The Indian National Kennel Club till date has organized over 300 championship dog shows, and there have been numerous very famous international judges who have judged many of their shows. Well, the judges like club judges like Edna Day, Gillian Ash, Richard Duckworth, Rex Price, Pat Lord, and others from USA like Dr. Franca Booth, Leona Almond, Sandra Walker, and the famous Greg Volkovich, author of the 910-page definitive and authoritative Atlas of Dog Breeds of the World. Besides other publications, catalogues of Indian National Kennel Club shows, and Chris World's autographed book. In fact, late Urvashi Devi of Baria, daughter of the KCI chairman, late Maharaja H.H. Maharaja Jaidev Singh of Baria, was an exhibitor and a judge in the Indian National Kennel Club show. In 1961, Rati Zaveri exhibited Shelties in Ceylon, in the Ceylon Kennel Club, where Maharaja Baria also exhibited his Afghans. There she got to know his secretary, W.I. Pieris, who later judged a few INKC shows on invitation. One important but little known offshoot of this acquaintance of W.I. Pieris was that after the Ceylon show, Rati happened to read Pierce's published article on artificial insemination in dogs. Inspired by this and seeing the scope of artificial insemination in dogs in India, Rati approached the famous Dr. Sain, pronounced as Sani, the professor who had then established the gynecological department of the Bombay Veterinary College and was its first head. Until then, the Bombay Veterinary College had been focusing only on artificial insemination for cattle. Now, for the first time in India, because of Mrs. Rati Zaveri's initiative, research began in artificial insemination in dogs. The essential samples of the fresh dog semen, often required for experimentation on and its preservation, were provided by Rati's golden retriever, who was taken repeatedly to the veterinary college by Mrs. Rati Zaveri for the purpose. This initiative taken by Rati in triggering their pioneering work in India has gone unrecorded and remains unknown to the many who now use AI gainfully in dog breeding in this country. Mr. Firoz Zaveri joined the INKC in the 60s, and around 1970 he became a member, was elected a member of the governing council of the Indian National Kennel Club, and got his first judging assignment at a dog show in Pune, and thereafter rose to the position of vice president in 1973. Firoz, an architect by profession, was married to Rati, and then Firoz had already established himself in dog shows in India and has judged in several dog shows in India and also in Ceylon. He has judged the National Kennel Club show under the late Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, who was then the president of India. They organized the Sanjay Gandhi Memorial Show, and where Firoz Zaveri had judged. As I mentioned earlier, Rati and Firoz's daughter, Dr. Freya, who is a vet and did her post-graduation in Melbourne, specializing in radiography. She is one of a very few vets in India qualified to do hip and elbow scoring. The scoring is different from merely taking and reading an X-ray. Scoring is a precise evaluation of the degree of the defect in numerical terms, which is not just reading an X-ray and coming to a vague or general conclusion. For serious breeding, minimum scores have been established which need to be met to prevent such hereditary and structural defects in the progeny. Dr. Freya has also obtained a diploma in dog judging from the Animal Care College of UK. She has judged extensively, not only in India, but also in Sri Lanka. Dr. Freya is actively involved with Indian National Kennel Club affairs. She has produced a very useful little book of puppies, a book priced at ₹150, which the Indian National Kennel Club gives free to all owners who register their puppies with INKC. She is also the editor of INKC Annual Magazine, the issue of 2022 being the third in the series. Besides his active presence, the Indian National Kennel Club in social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, etc. has advanced and is developing a highly functional website, www.inkc.in, through which information can be obtained. All forms can be downloaded and payments can also be made. The most revolutionary breakthrough, perhaps the first and one of its kind in India, will now be the total online operation through an app and web-based transactions of all routine kennel club activities like dog litter registration, transfer, kennel name registration, dog show entries and results. This will be in operation before the onset of 2023. This will not only enable foolproof turnover out also to be green initiative being environment friendly, as it will eliminate 99% use of paper, resulting in saving so many trees year in and year out. And finally, the Indian National Kennel Club will then be able to focus even better on other needs of the Indian dog and the dog game to take up the challenge and lend a hand wherever need may be found in the dog world in India. I will end today because if I carry on, it is going to go for hours together to talk about the Indian National Kennel Club. Well, I wish them all success, and I will definitely devote more episodes on the Indian National Kennel Club because not only today I spoke about their history, I will have to speak about the future, the service that they will be giving to the dog lovers of this country. Other than the Indian National Kennel Club, there are other organizations also that are functioning in India. I would like to mention here that all are welcome to mention their activities on Animals and Pets with Partha. This is a channel which is devoted to the cause of the animals and pets, and dogs, of course, is very important here because it is the most popular pet around the world and adored by humans and the man's best friend. So I earned for tonight. Please subscribe to my channel, and not only that, do ring the bell button so that you are intimated for all the episodes that I upload from time to time. And apart from that, do like and share it, because the story of the Indian National Kennel Club needs to be known throughout the dog fraternity in the country, and they have a glorious past. I wish I had devoted more time to it, but definitely in future I'll get back. And here are some pictures that I have shared with you about its just history, a rich history, a glorious past that the Indian National Kennel Club has had, and without any scam. So thank you everybody for bearing with me and listening to my episodes.